Welcome back all of you to my next video. In this episode I want to share my opinion about using iPhone 13 mini for more than a year. I want to speak about advantages of having an iPhone and disadvantages. Without further ado, let's start this episode with the design. All of you know that iPhone 13 mini looks and feels very similar to its predecessor, iPhone 12 mini. Unfortunately, Apple haven't decided to release iPhone 14 mini or iPhone 15 mini, and in my opinion it's a mistake. I love smartphones with big screens because it is so easy to consume multimedia such as watching videos, playing games or browse internet. It is so easy to do all this stuff on a smartphone that have big screen. There are situations in life when the size of that device is also a huge disadvantage. Sometimes I just simply want to have a smartphone with smaller screen which I can simply put in any pocket without feeling of carrying a brick. Big smartphone is good for content consumption but bad for carrying in the everyday life. So when I just simply moving around my house, I just simply love the size of iPhone 13 mini. When I'm running, I also prefer to take 13 mini instead of having a bigger smartphone. Of course, there are more such situations, but what I mean is that not always small smartphone is a bad smartphone. Sometimes it can definitely help. iPhone 13 mini looks and feels as a typical iPhone. It is made of two glass panels in front and on the back and stainless steel frame. When you hold it in your hand, you definitely feel that it's premium product. Build quality is very good. In my personal opinion, Apple makes one of the best, if not the best products that feels very premium in hand. It is very difficult to describe in words. What do I mean? But when I pick up iPhone 13 mini, it feels like it's a more premium product than any other smartphone from any other manufacturer. What is more, I don't use any case or screen protector for my iPhone. I don't like to make a small phone bigger and big phone even bigger, so all my smartphones I use without any protection. This way I can also test how good used materials are in each smartphone. After a year of such treatment, I can tell that build quality of iPhone 13 mini is very good. There are some minor scratches on the screen and back glass panel, but it is only visible when you look very carefully. Both glasses and metal frame are still in very good condition. What I don't like about iPhone design are sharp edges and huge notch. Despite being a small smartphone, sharp edges sometimes make me feel uncomfortable while holding it in one hand. I would definitely prefer edges to be rounded like in the newest iteration of iPhones. This would make this phone even more comfortable. Hope Apple will bring mini lineup next year with possible iPhone SE series. We'll see. iPhone 13 mini has a 5.4-inch 2340 by 1080p resolution OLED Super Retina XDR display with 800 nits max brightness and 1200 nits HDR brightness with 60 Hz refresh rate. I can say that it's a good display, but definitely not the best. Brightness is good enough, but when it's really bright outside, for example on the beach, there could be a problem with visibility in such situations. I'm not a fan of 3000 nits bright displays, but 2000 nits is just enough to see everything on your smartphone display. I'm also not a fan of 60 Hz refresh rate used in 13 mini. However, from my experience, I can definitely say that because of very smooth animations, good system optimizations, and relatively small display, you can feel like this phone have a higher than 60 Hz refresh rate. It can be compared to Android phone that has 90 Hz display, but the size of the screen is bigger than 5.4 inches. So the combination of these three factors, according to me, makes me feel that iPhone 13 mini has a screen higher than 60 Hz refresh rate. What I also don't like is this big notch. I know that you can used to it, but believe me that you will definitely see it while watching any videos on YouTube or Netflix or playing games. Don't believe people who say that after a week of usage you stop seeing this notch. It's not true. You will see it, and it is the most frustrating thing in iPhone's 13 mini display. Even standard 60Hz refresh rate doesn't hurt my eyes so much as this ugly, disturbing notch. Glad that Apple used dynamic island starting from iPhone 14 Pro and use it even in non-Pro iPhones. This is a better solution than notch, but still not as good as punch hole used on Android phones. Hope that one day we will have smartphones with beautiful screen without any notches, dynamic island or punch holes, and slim bezels. So to conclude, iPhone 13 mini has a decent OLED display with not so good brightness and a very ugly and disturbing notch. iPhone 13 mini was released 2 years ago and had iOS 15 on board. After 2 years, Apple updated this model to iOS 16 last year and to iOS 17 this year. This phone will still get at least 4 years of system updates. Currently I'm using iOS 17.3 Beta 1, and finally I can say that this version of iOS is stable and don't have too many bugs or glitches. Phone feels fast, smooth, and don't have any problems with using this phone in real life. What I don't like about iOS are animations. Don't get me wrong, they are very good, very smooth, but also too long. Apple could make them a little bit shorter, and this would make this phone feels faster. Sometimes it takes too long to open one app, then close it and open another. If Apple could shorten these animations, I would be very satisfied. For now, in my opinion, they are too long. That is why I feel like this phone is an older device. App opening feels too long for me, and smartphone feels not so snappy and fast. So Apple, please shorten iOS animations. iPhone 13 mini has two camera lenses, 12 megapixel camera and 12 megapixel ultra-wide lens. These cameras take decent photos. Stills captured by these cameras are sharp, colorful and good quality. They are more true to life without that Samsung's punchy look. When there is not enough light, night mode kicks in, which brightens photos. Main lens takes good night-time photos, however, ultra-wide is far behind the main lens. Photos taken with ultra-wide lens are full of artifacts and visible noise. If you like to take ultra-wide night photos, don't buy iPhone 13 mini. There are much better phones on the market that takes better ultra-wide photos during night scenarios. Speaking about videos, believe it or not, iPhones shoot the best videos on the market. There are no other smartphones that can shoot better video recordings than iPhone. 13 mini model is not an exception here. Videos taken with this small smartphone are very good stabilized, sharp, bright, colorful and very natural. When there is not enough light, noise is also very well captured, and videos shot with this smartphone are also very usable. Of course, iPhone 14 Pro and 15 Pro shoots better video recordings than 13 mini, but videos captured with this smartphone are still better than videos shot by Android competitors, even from last year or this year. The only manufacturer that can compete with iPhones in video department is Samsung's Galaxy S lineup. Currently, Galaxy S23 Ultra also shoots nice videos, but still they are not as good as produced by iPhones. Hope next year Samsung will catch up Apple in this department as well. However, for now, iPhone 13 mini shoots very good quality movies, much better than a lot of newer Android devices, and there is no argue about that. Now, few words about battery. This is a very tricky subject for this smartphone. Because of the size and being so small, Apple decided to install 2406 mAh battery. This battery size could potentially portend problems. However, from my experience, battery life in this model is decent. When you don't use your phone, it can stay without charge for pretty long time, but when you start using it, screen on time is around 4 hours. Is it a bad result? Depends on your needs. If you are not a heavy user, don't play too much games, don't watch too many videos, then this phone will last from early morning to late evening. But when you start using camera, play some games, use a lot of social media apps, the battery will drain very fast and you will definitely need to charge it up before the end of the day. For my usage and for this size, I can say the battery is pretty good in iPhone 13 mini, but it is definitely not the champ in this category. So to conclude, do I like iPhone 13 mini? Definitely, it's a very good and compact smartphone that can shoot very good videos, take decent photos, has very good operating system, but also you need to like this operating system because in some cases iOS can be a huge disadvantage. More about advantages and disadvantages of iOS I'll tell in my next video. iPhone 13 mini has a very good, if not the best in its class build quality and decent battery life. If you are deep in Apple ecosystem and want small and compact phone, then you should definitely consider buying iPhone 13 mini. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next one.